Welcome to Frenemies, the weekly show broadcast out of Tel Aviv. We get the right and the left together to bash it out, the most heated subjects of the week. Uri, how you doing this week?
I'm good.
A lot of things are going on this week. A lot of things.
We're all in a Trump atmosphere. Exactly. President Trump is coming to town. So
I would say if we had to agree on one thing, we just don't know what he's going to do.
We definitely don't know
what
he's going to do.
I mean, you know, and I think he's playing that on purpose.
That's what's nice about this guy. If there's anything, it's always like full of surprises.
Entertainment galore, that's for sure. Well, I think let's not waste any time. Let's get to the first subject. We're going to actually be talking right now and bashing around Trump.
He will meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu. That night, the President and the First Lady will join the Prime Minister and Mrs. Netanyahu for a private dinner. The following morning, the President will meet President Abbas in Bethlehem, where he will convey his administration's eagerness to facilitate an agreement that ends the conflict. And he will urge Palestinian leaders to take steps that will help lead to peace. And he will visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and say a prayer at the Western Wall.
So, President Trump is coming to Israel. I believe this is his first international presidential visit,
which is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. No, I mean the Middle East, visit, which is nice. It's good. He comes to Israel and to the region, leaving behind him a hectic Washington D.C. right now. We learned this week that a special investigator was nominated to investigate into the ties between the Trump campaign and the Russians. Comey was fired. This whole, like a lot that's going on since Trump was elected. A lot of every day brings, new heights.
Well, he's not really bringing much. I mean, the press is really bringing it all.
Well, I don't
things have happened.
He fired Comey, for instance. It's not like the press.
But it was under the recommendations of other people also.
There's no question that there's a lot of drama going on.
100%.
Like every day, it feels like we're in a roller coaster. It feels like he's only been there for 3.5 months, and it feels like, so many news drama and
I think we have to be a little bit fair here. And again, let me just put this on the table right now. I was pro-Trump during the elections. I was, and I still think that he was the better of the two. That being said, I never called Trump a good man, or I didn't mean to say that. I didn't call him like a role model for my children. We weren't voting for a role model. I mean, the other side, Clinton, wasn't a role model either. I simply voted. I simply wanted to vote for him. And I pushed him to vote for him just because of the options of the two of them. But the press was really, really hard on him during the elections, and I think it's just continuing.
It's only the press. It's not him.
No. He's not, I mean, he's not a calm guy. I never say that. He's making waves, but you'll see that it's not. In other words, the statements aren't coming from him. No, he's going to have this investigation. Don't you think? No, it's an investigation. We're talking about Clinton. I don't want to go back on it. It doesn't make a difference. We're talking 33,000 emails, top secret ones, and she wasn't president. He actually has the right to unconfidentialize.
But he has the right to intervene in an ongoing investigation?
No, he didn't. No, it wasn't him. Again, he received.
He fired the guy who refused to stop the investigation against his
The recommendation for his firing came from the head of the White House and other officers as well. It wasn't his decision alone at all.
He's the buck stops there, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So he made the decision.
It was him, and he spoke with Comey, again, and there's this memo where Comey said, the president asked me to stop the investigation on Flynn.
We're waiting for those.
At least that's what Comey says.
Right, we're waiting for those tapes to come out. And again, I'll say flat out, if he did those things, then he definitely has a problem.
But on our issue, really honestly, I want you to be honest. Aren't you disappointed? I mean, the guy, you had 8 years with Obama. You accused him for being against Israel because he's not in favor of moving the embassy, because he sees...
No, that's not why. That's not why.
Well, many things I wanted to elaborate, but never mind. And now you have Trump, and you see his administration, you have all these problems around Jerusalem. He would not... it seems like he's not going to move the embassy. He is moving towards, as we heard, the National Security Advisor, going for a peace treaty, and that means... And he's bringing over the Arab world. Aren't you a bit disappointed?
So I'll be honest with you. If he doesn't move the embassy, and the assumptions you're making right now actually happen, I'll be disappointed. I'll be honest with you. I'm not an officer of Trump. I'm not a fan of his on a personal level.
Some people in your camp were.
I don't know what my camp is. I know the people that I spoke to. liked him better than the other option by far.
Come on, they went to his inauguration. They went to Washington to praise him.
Absolutely. What's the problem going? What's the problem going there? I don't understand.
No, there's no problem. I'm just saying that now he
might
be the guy who will tell you to move from your home and go back to Israel.
It's not. First of all, Judea, with all due respect, is part of Israel.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So why do you need to annex it if it's part of Israel?
Well, that's another discussion we could talk about. I'd be happy to. But in terms of Trump, we don't know what he's going to do. If he does not move the embassy and he does what you think he's going to do, I'll be very disappointed. I highly doubt that's going to happen. And not because what the press says. Again, there's press and there's rumors. He's not talking. And again, I want to remind everyone that the embassy can move as long as he doesn't sign a paper. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't make any statements. If he doesn't,
but apparently he doesn't want
again,
the effect of moving
again,
exactly like President Obama
I will be very,
and President Bush. He is concerned of the effects of such a move.
So let me finish.
The only difference is that Trump vowed to do it more than anyone before, and there were these expectations.
Let me repeat what I'm going to say. Listen to me. I'm going to say again, if he doesn't move, I'll be very disappointed. That being said, again, he doesn't have to do anything for the embassy to move. No, there's a law in America, the embassy must move. He has to sign. So if he does, I will be disappointed. That being said,
not only that.
Hold on, let me finish that. That being said, there's no question in my mind that the difference, the staff, I mean, Clinton had staff who were anti-Israel BDS. He has staff.
Come on. Nobody there was BDS, by the way.
He had.
Can I give you? Can I tell you a secret?
No. Let me finish my sentence. The people that Trump hired and sending to Israel are extremely right-wing, extremely pro-Israel.
I'll tell you the following breaking news.
Press is press.
I'll tell you the following breaking news. Because of the way you treat Trump and because of these people, I believe Trump is very, very far from what I think who should lead the democratic world and the Western world or whatever, the free world.
Okay.
But he seems more serious and he has a better chance in promoting peace than Clinton.
Again, but you're making assumptions, left-wing assumptions.
He's talking about, you heard his...
See, this is the funniest thing. First you say that we treat him as the Messiah.
Oh, he's not a Messiah. He's not a Messiah. I wish he was not. He were not.
One second.
Hold on a second. I didn't say a sentence here.
Hold on.
I keep... Can I say something?
Right after this. You said to me that the right thinks he's a Messiah. We never call him Messiah. Now that he's...
You treated him like a Messiah.
No, I didn't. Now that he's making...
You didn't, but your camp did.
No, they didn't. Now that he's taking action... He's not taking action. Now that you're making assumptions based on press... You're calling him a Messiah.
Press. That's his national security advisor who just spoke.
What did he say? He said he has to convince the Palestinians.
He's going to Saudi Arabia to meet with Arab leaders who are going to give some, which is great. They're going to give some incentives to Israel in order for Israel to freeze the building in the settlements.
No. There's no such thing.
That's nothing.
No, it's no such thing. Where are you getting that from? Who said building freeze?
From his staff.
Nobody in his staff said building freeze. You're making that up.
Really? He said it in his own words with Bibi.
Nobody
on the press conference when he was there.
Nobody in Trump's staff.
What I love about you.
Yes.
You have your own reality.
It's not reality.
It's disconnected.
So you know what?
With what's going on.
We're on TV here. Bring the clip. Show me. Next week, Israel will be celebrating, well, some of us at least, will be celebrating the unification of Jerusalem, Judea and Samaria to the Jewish nation. Now, I want to just clarify that, hold on, let me just explain to the viewers what we're seeing. In 1967, after Egypt called for the annihilation of Israel and moved their troops up to the border and kicked out the UN peacekeeping corps, Israel preempted a strike because we weren't really willing to go, like sheep to the gas chambers again. And then Jordan, came to the war in Syria. Now, the rest of the Arab nations came to the war. And in 6 days, Israel miraculously really took out 6 different Arab nations who were looking to annihilate Israel. And after the 6-day war, we liberated Jerusalem. What does liberated mean? Between 48 and 67, the Arabs had control of the Jerusalem. Jews could not even go into the Western Wall. Forget about the Temple Mount. Anybody who stuck their head over the wall that separated Jerusalem was shot by a Jordanian sniper. The Jordanians used Jewish gravestones as their latrine and their bases. Horrific stuff. 1967, we liberated Jerusalem, and there's freedom of religion in Jerusalem. We also liberated Judea and Samaria. For the first time, Jews were able to go to the Cave of the Patriarchs, for example. The cave of where Joseph is buried, we can finally go to, well, almost, because they're shooting at us every time we do. And next, we're going to be celebrating that. Unfortunately, The left side of the political spectrum, instead of saying 50 years of reunification, is saying 50 years of occupation.
That's true.
I guess you'll explain that.
I'll definitely explain that. First of all, regarding Jerusalem, the state this week released from the archives the transcript of the government, the cabinet meetings in June '67, where they discuss the possibilities. What was striking there is while the leaders of the Labour Party, which was then in power, were euphoric after the first victories and wanted to annex and all that, it was the leader of the Zionist Religious Party, who's now the same guy who's Bennett now is in his position, the Jewish Home, then was the strongest opposer to the annexation of East Jerusalem, mainly because of the Palestinians that live there. And he understood, he had the foresight to understand that this would cause a lot of problems vis-a-vis the world. He actually suggested to internationalize the old city and to make it into, which was the original UN plan, which was very, perhaps we would have done it then, would have been much less of a problem now.
Peace and love on the earth.
The reason we're not celebrating this day of unification is that because we understand that since this false unification, whoever goes to Jerusalem knows that the Palestinian villages and neighborhoods that were annexed to Jerusalem, they were never a part of Jerusalem, but under the Israeli annexation, they became part of Jerusalem. First of all, there's no unification there. There's a lot of...
There's only one reason.
Hold on.
There's no unification. If a Jew drives through the area, they get pummeled by stones.
Palestinians there are
freedom of travel,
treated very badly by the government.
It's not.
Oh, come on. That's facts.
Arabs,
the way
first
the
of all,
Palestinians there. Hold on. Let me finish.
Residents of Jerusalem, and they refuse.
They are not getting the same funds as the Jews there. There's poverty there.
Bring numbers.
There's no. Excuse me?
Bring numbers.
Do you have numbers?
No, so don't make claims. So don't make claims.
Those claims are well.
The Arabs.
I promise you, the next show we'll show you.
Next show. The Arabs in Jerusalem are residents of Jerusalem.
There are less funds. It's a well-known fact. Even right wingers say that.
Let's get
second, the fact that we control what will soon be a majority of Palestinians under our direct control means the end of the Zionist vision.
Let's get some facts. Let's get some facts.
Apart from apartheid, you don't have any other solution to this fact that there is a majority of non-Jews living under the Israeli the democracy, and they don't get the right to vote.
You done? Number one, the Arabs in Jerusalem, residents of Jerusalem, they refuse Palestinian citizenship. So please stop.
Come on, they refuse.
They refuse.
They don't refuse.
Let me finish.
Stop.
Uri.
They had a full chance
you spoke
in 67.
for 3 minutes. Let me speak. They refuse. They're residents of Jerusalem right now. They have freedom of travel. They have freedom of religion everywhere in Jerusalem. The only people who don't have freedom of religion are the Jews, where they're not allowed to pray on the Temple Mount. Stop making up fabricated stories about the Arabs. They have freedom all over Jerusalem. They ride on our buses. We don't ride on their buses. We get killed.
What do you mean their buses?
There's an Arab...
The Jerusalemites
You don't know. You don't know.
They're residents of Jerusalem,
There's an Arab bus line that goes to Jerusalem, goes to Beit Lechem, goes to all the areas. If a Jew would get on those buses, he'd be dead by the time he get off. Period. End of story.
Prove that. Show me numbers.
No problem. Let's go in.
Let's show me numbers.
Let's go tomorrow on the bus.
It's just a claim.
Let's go on the bus tomorrow.
Let's go.
You and I.
Okay.
Let's do it. In terms of driving through the Arab cities, the villages, I've been through there. I've been through Silwan, which used to be a Yemenite city, and I've gotten stoned. Why? Just because I was Jewish.
Because
you're
a colonist.
Hold on.
You're a colonist.
It's not even, they're living there they don't even pay the taxes to Israel. Stop it. Number one. Number two, the only non-freedom that exists is when a Jew, doesn't matter who he is, drives through that area, will get pummeled and ambushed with stones to be dead.
When the Brits were here, we resisted.
Back to what you said before. Hold on, Uri.
They don't get their freedom
back to what you said
or
before.
right to vote.
Okay,
so they rise against the conqueror.
I see. You're justifying terrorism. Okay, back to what we said before. In terms of what was said back then in the day, Ben Gurion himself, Golda Meir, left-wing leader, there is no such thing as the Palestinian people. So things might change.
You're right. You're definitely right.
Leader. So
that the leaders of the Labour Party back then were short-sighted.
Were they lying?
Short-sighted, and they didn't see what the consequence of what they do. There were very few back then.
You wanted them to create before the people.
And it was stupidity then.
So Golda Meir lied.
Stupidity now.
Golda Meir lied?
Golda Meir. This is the part where we're more friends than frenemies. I think. I don't. Who knows?
I hope so.
We're now going to talk about Syria. The American administration released the fact that, according to their intelligence, the Assad regime not only uses gas and chemical weapons to kill its own people, but also use crematoriums in order to burn bodies, in order to wipe away any evidence of their killings and murders, which, you know, there's not. I think we don't need much more proof that this regime is one of the horrific regimes, definitely in this century, we've seen. It's crazy that it gets the defense of Russia, that gives this regime oxygen pipeline.
They stopped the veto.
In the UN, militarily speaking, actually helping this regime to gain back power, not only to maintain its own power. The question is, why isn't, there's now the struggle against ISIS, which is continuing well, but how come this regime stays in power? How come the American administration is not intervening? And also, what does Israel have to do with it?
You know what I think? I think that I've said this many times to people, and it happened in World War II. It happened during the Holocaust when diplomacy took over morality. And I think that's what's happening here. Diplomacy and politics is taking over morality. It's horrific. And again, there are enemy state, Israel. The pictures are horrific. The witnesses are, the testimonies are horrific. Crematoriums. Look, Israel obviously on an open front probably can't do it. But I think, and I'm guessing that we probably have, somewhere kind of under the table quietly, we're probably doing things also in Syria, but it's going way too long. I mean, the world, to me, this proves that we haven't moved an inch since 1945.
But you know what? Netanyahu and his coalition and AIPAC and others proved how efficient they can be when it comes to Iran. When it comes to Iran, Netanyahu became, and even though he doesn't like the agreement, he was part of the reasons for that agreement to happen and to put away at least for now, the nuclear program. And he can be very efficient in being a spokesperson. And I think it can also help his own position, not only to compare why are you coming to us instead of Syria, but to become a spokesperson against what's going on in Syria for that sake.
Well, I don't know.
Not as a comparison to why does the world criticize us while there's Syria.
So I don't know if it's Netanyahu's responsibility. Same way it's not
his responsibility.
Same way that I don't know if
a moral one.
I don't know if anyone in America would talk about morally what's going on in Al Qaeda in terms of they're acting with their own people. I think it's horrible. I think Netanyahu did come out and say what's going on in Syria is horrific.
Yeah, but it's not his main thing.
Right, but I don't think, again, I don't think any statements will help. I don't think, Hitler taught us only one thing and one thing only. There's a time to stop talking, start dropping bombs.
Fine, but Israel
shouldn't do that.
I
think that Israel, I'm guessing, I have no information, wish I did, I'm guessing that they're doing things not in the public, and I think that any public statements will just cause harm to everyone.
I don't think so. We have a moral obligation as the state of the Jews, the homeland of the Jewish people, following the destiny of the Jews. I think we have a moral responsibility not only to defend ourselves, which is also a moral responsibility, but also to be a moral voice. And again, I think if I were Netanyahu, I really don't like his policies, I don't like his ideology. It would even help him, instead of using the card of the Syrians as a kind of an excuse or to show, the world is hypocritical, to be an emissary for doing something in Syria.
You're mixing apples and oranges. Israel is now working on a bill to halt organizations coming.
Israel, an MK from Israel.
An MK from Israel, okay, who's in the governing body of the executive branch.
I hope it will
is working on a bill to stop organizations that are coming. Well, what happened with Jewish areas and towns in Judea and Samaria, where they bring a claim of ownership for someone with a person who's said they're owning, doesn't come into the court itself. So it's a non-player. Non-player comes in, says that's not theirs, and they have a right. They had a right. What happened in Amona, to basically get Jews kicked out of their homes, even though there's no proof of ownership. So now the bill is being said that unless the person who's involved in the court case is there, no court case can be opened. I think, politics aside, that makes all sense. I'm not going to walk into a court and talk about a third party and say, hey, him, and I have no proof of anything. I'm not even involved. I wouldn't even say why there should be any opposition to this.
Do you want me to surprise you?
Yes.
I think that one of the strongest elements or facts that made the occupation so stable and sustainable is the fact that the Supreme Court, back in '67, agreed to receive petitions from Palestinians in the first place. Okay. I believe the Supreme Court. You got to stop with that. I don't have to stop. I listen to you. The Supreme Court is of sovereign Israel. These are areas that, under the Israeli Supreme Court's own decisions, are occupied, and therefore these people should not have been. This grant that they've been given only gave legitimacy in Israel, within Israel, to the occupation. Although I said that, hold on.
If the courts would say you're allowed to kick out Arabs from Israel, would you agree with that?
Let me finish my point. Although, having said that happened already 50 years ago. Now, the Palestinians, as any other right-wing bodies do that also, they use organizations that are professionalized on legal training and all that in order to petition Palestinian rights. I don't see to prevent that. Let me explain to prevent these people to be in the courts. Is another
undemocratic
to the Israeli democracy.
You put the chicken before the egg. Let me give you the example. Peace Now. I believe it was in 2005, I'm not mistaken, Amona. They're the ones that went to the High Court about Amona. There was no individual, no Arab who hired them. There was not a single Arab who claimed ownership. Arab. And by the way, if you want to talk about the occupation, I will raise a Palestinian flag on my house if you can give me the year that we occupied a single centimeter of anything from a people called Palestinians.
No, they were occupied by the Jordanians before.
Again, give me a year when anybody occupied...
Hold on, there are no Kurds?
Hello, one second.
No. Is there a Kurd people?
I offered you...
Is there a Kurd people?
I offered to give up.
I'm asking.
Give me the year that Israel occupied an inch from a people called Palestinians.
What is the year that somebody took over Israel?
Say again?
What makes you Israeli?
I live in Israel.
Okay, and who was controlling? What was before Israel?
The British Mandate.
What was it called?
The British Mandate of Palestine.
What was of Palestine?
But it wasn't an Arab place. We didn't occupy from the Arab
state. It was predominantly Arab.
No, it was. First of all, no. Again, here's the mistake that you're making. Historical mistakes. The Palestine Company, Jewish. The Palestine Post, Jewish. The Palestine Brigade, Jewish. The Palestine Pound said Arabs.
There were parallels to that.
Stop. There
were Arab parallels to that.
Give me one.
The Palestinian, how
Nada. They refused the name Palestinians.
I don't know the English word for that.
Uri, they refused the name Palestinian. They refused the name before 1948. Everything nationally Palestinian between 1940 was Jewish.
The PLO was founded in
1964.
62, but
64. And by Yasser Arafat, who was born in Egypt. He wasn't even Palestinian. He wasn't even Palestinian by their own down definition.
And they had, and the Mufti before that.
The Mufti is not, again, he was a Palestinian leader.
So we came to the end of the show, another heated show. I'm sure next week we're going to have a lot to discuss.
We'll have more information.
Yeah, Trump is going to be here. We'll see. There's a lot of expectations. Let's see what's going to happen. On the day we're shooting this program, we heard of a sad news that Chris Cornell, a musician and artist I really admire, has passed away. So on his memory, we'll end the show, this show, with Chris Cornell.
Thank you. See you next week on Frenemies.
Yeah.
Won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come?